Hello friends, welcome back to Faith and Error Homestead. My name is Jaylee, and you have probably heard by now that we are selling our house. We are hoping to move. We are pursuing the farm dream, and we're stepping out in faith here and giving it a shot. And so we're putting the house up on the market here really soon, and so we are preparing to do that. My husband Tom and I have never sold a house before. We've purchased a house. We purchased this house for my grandmother though, so we're not very familiar with the world of real estate and what that means and what that looks like. And so we're learning. We have great realtors that we really like, and they're helping us. So there are just a few things that we are doing to get ready for that. I don't know what of these. I've just been filming as I go, and I haven't edited everything yet. So at this time, I don't know what you're going to see first. I've gotten a ton of footage of the stuff that we're doing inside the house. I've not really talked much about what we're doing on the outside of the house though. And so with the market being the way it is, could we just put our house up without doing literally anything the way it is, and would it sell? Probably, because the market's insane like that right now. But there are some things we want to do, and in my mind, some things that we really should do before we pass this house on to the next people. And so I'm going to talk about that today, some of the things that we are doing outside. So first, our house has this really lovely back patio. We actually had this patio installed. We had it poured by our friend Brad, who does this kind of work, and we have so enjoyed having this patio. We originally were just going to do the square, and it was just living space. That's our living room, so we let Benny out down those steps from inside the house. This was a mud pit the first year that we lived here. We quickly decided that we wanted a patio. I had the idea of adding this at the same time. This is where we do all of our grilling and whatnot. It was a really nice little extension, and it didn't cost much more to have that, so we really enjoy that. It's a great space. We think that it's going to be a huge selling point for this house. Every single year, I think this is our 4th year with this patio, we power wash it in the springtime. It gets dirty from the winter time, but also it gets dirty from the chickens. I don't let the chickens free range very much during the summertime because of the garden, but I do in the winter and the fall and the winter time and some of the springtime. So there's lots of chicken poopies. And so we always just give it a good power washing. You can see that I've actually already started all of this in the cracks here get filled with gunky stuff. So we have, I'll show you the power washer we have. I'll link it. It's a really good power washer. We have this one. It's a Westinghouse. I really like Westinghouse products, and it works really well. This is here's this. I start by just going around the edges here where a lot of stuff accumulates, again, the cracks there, and I just clean off all of the stuff, the gunk that gets built up. But then after I do that, I go back over it and I get in and really get the dirt off. You can see here, like I need to go through and actually in a line clean all of this dirt off. All of those marks there are from where I just kind of hastily did it. So this is really dirty, and the power washer will be able to clean that up and make it look really nice and fresh. I didn't get a before and after, unfortunately. He did it when I wasn't home, but Tom power washed the shed. It needed it so bad. This was green. The front of this was like all nasty green, just from where this doesn't get a lot of sun exposure. I don't know if that's like moss or like what it is that grows on there, but it's really gross. So he power washed both sides, and it looks so sparkly fresh. The chickens, oh my sweet baby girls. Ladies, we only have a few days left together, girls. So my chickens are actually going to a foster home. I have a guy that I'm friends with. Actually, he works with Tom. That's how we know him. And he takes chickens. So there's a few chickens that I've gotten rid of in the past. I actually just mentioned that on this channel a couple weeks ago that I had 9, now I have 6. There were 3 chickens that were just not vibing with the crew very well, so I gave them to him. He's always looking to add to his flock. They're doing really well over there. He has a great setup, much better than my setup. And so he's going to foster these 6 girls for me. I have my 4 original, the Connies, Agatha, and Amelia. They're my very first ever chickens. And I have 2 Americanas, Sparrow and Mabel. I love these 6 girls. They're great girls. They're mine. I love them. They're going to be with me till the bitter end. But unfortunately, where we're going to be living while we shop for our farm property, I cannot take my chickens. And so they're going to a foster home. And then we rented a trailer, and me and Tom and my dad, and maybe one other set of hands, because I'm not going to be very helpful in my state, are going to get the chicken coop out of here. It can't stay here. I don't want it to stay here. It's my chicken coop, but it can't stay here. And so as soon as that goes, we can power wash this side of the shed, which I'm sure is going to need it. And then we got to get this ground cleaned up. It's really it's going to need some work. Right now, it's just a lot of like straw and stuff. I actually think, especially like where the chickens are, that's all built up in there from just years of collecting their poo and whatnot. And so that's got to get cleaned out. I think the ground here is probably real nutrient rich, so grass should grow here pretty well. If we come around here though, the back of the coop, that's where I get the eggs. This is my compost pile. This is where I just put like garden waste, leaves, yard leaves. When I clean out the chicken coop, it goes back here. This has been back here and like this for years. So it has been, breaking down and doing its thing for a long time. So if you look under here, it's actually really good, dark dirt I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to just get to it with my foot, but within here, it's some really nice, rich, dark dirt. Yeah, there we go. That looks so good. Probably so many worms in there. All of this needs to get shoveled into a wheelbarrow and taken over to the beds. Unfortunately, I got lazy last year. This is not good garden maintenance, not good stewardship of my garden whatsoever. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my 10 beds did not get mulched last fall. Normally in the fall time, all of that composted stuff over there over the year from all of my cleaning out the chicken coop and whatnot, grass mulch, leaf mulch that we mow, I will put it on the garden beds to break down and decompose over the winter time, and it protects the soil. I got lazy and I did not make it to all of the beds last year, unfortunately. So these beds here are all going to need that put on there. And it works out though, because that's going to help me get rid of it. So all of that stuff I was just telling you about back there is going to get put on the beds here. And then I can just kind of plant it within that, and it'll be fine. It won't cause any problems. And then that way these will be nice and mulched going into the season. Is it ideal? No, but it's what we're gonna do. So that has to happen. I will work on that today if I get to it and if I have the energy. Rose bushes, they're my climbing roses. They need to be pruned. Benny, he's just really loving rolling around. And then last thing for back here, I think. Yeah, last thing for back here are my raspberry and my blackberry bushes. They need to get pruned. Now, what I was gonna do before I knew we were going to move was the method that Michelle from More Than Farmers, what she does, and I actually messaged her last year to talk to her about it. She's great on social media. She got back to me and we chatted about it. Her and Cody cut their raspberries down to the ground and let them regrow every year. Clearly, I do not do that. They're taller than me now. So, and they still produce and do well, but I do think that I was gonna try cutting them down and see how they did, or maybe cutting a few of them down. I'm not going to now because I will not be here on the other side of that experiment, and I don't want to ruin it for the people coming in if that's not a good plan. But what I do every year, and I am gonna do it, I always cut it down to where the new green is coming. So here you can see that this produced raspberries last year, right? That's what these all were. Now, if you look real closely, right here, there's a little bit of green coming up right there. And then you can see it as you move down the branch. But above this one, there is none. Yep, no. And so I cut it off right here, right where my thumbnail is, right above where that green is. I put that in the burn pile, and then that does help. I don't know, I think it helps. But that's what I do anyway, to try and encourage this new growth and to just cut away what I don't think would produce anything. And I go through and do that to all of these. Let's see. There's green, there's a little bit of green, and then I don't see any more green above this. So there's this whole branch, and I cut it off right here, right above where that green is. So I'm still going to do that. I know that that's fine because I've been doing it that way for years, and I will go through and do that. And then this needs to get cleaned up. There's even some trash. There's a water bottle back there that I used to cover some seedlings last year, one of Benny's bones. I was using this as like a compost pile over the winter time. It's got a bunch of brush and stuff. I gotta get rid of all of that. So just some general cleaning and preparing. The chickens are gone and I don't have to worry about them messing with the garden anymore. I can come through and take off. Well, you can see right there, they were already starting to do it for me. I just cover, when I mulch in the fall time, I cover it. I've got chicken wire right here just to try to keep them off of it. I got these here just to try and keep them from destroying it. So I can go through once they're gone and get all of this cleaned up. And then as you've probably heard by now, I am planting in this garden this year. I started a tray of seeds. If you've not seen that yet, you will shortly. To plant in this garden, and then I am going to be purchasing some tomato starts and some pepper starts to put in here as well, because I just really do want whoever buys our house to have a garden, because by the time they move in, we can't move out until June, so they can't move in till June. And it's too late. I mean, you could fall garden, but you couldn't spring garden at that point. So it's just really important to me that we bless whoever comes here next and have something planted out in the garden. It's not going to be elaborate. It's not going to be super well thought out and, planned like my gardens usually are, but some flowers, some tomatoes, some peppers, some cucumbers, herbs, the basic stuff, just so that they have something. And if they're not gardeners, maybe it will ignite a love of gardening in them. And at the very least, it'll just be pretty for them to enjoy this first year. So my beautiful garden compound. I am very sad to be leaving it, but I'm very excited for what the future holds in terms of gardening and space and property. And I'm very hopeful.